and are feeding this knowledge to the masses. Like I said, they've been seeing this come about now for over 100 years. They saw it starting to awake back in the early 1890s. They started the attack almost a few years later with bringing the descendants of Esau through the Theodore Herzl movement, the Zionists, to the land of Palestine, it was called then, in 1897. Okay? And ever since then, they've been attacking the descendants of Israel and this movement. They didn't know, you understand, they knew that Jerusalem was going to rise up in the midst of the daughter of Babylon. That's the prophecy over in chapter 50, Isaiah. They knew it was going to rise up in the midst, or should I say 52, Isaiah, in the midst of the daughter of Babylon, but they didn't exactly know where. But they saw it coming. They saw it starting to awake. And that's when that clay appears in that image of Nebuchadnezzar in the feet and the toes. And just about that, you know, when you go into Daniel, okay, what is it? Daniel 2, verse 43. All right? When you go in there and read this, okay, here's an article here by this writer for the Chicago Sun-Times, Richard Roeper. Okay? And he makes the statement here about blacks, whites, united, then went separate ways. Okay? He's talking about the night of the, after the election, when Obama and Biden, their wives came out in Grant Park here in Chicago, Illinois. He made his speech. The whole world was watching. And Roeper's talking about how all of the people that were out there, and they estimated about 250,000, blacks, so-called whites, so-called blacks, Hebrew Israelites, and Gentiles, Europeans, and other people, okay, so-called minorities. They were all embracing. They were all crying, basically. They were in joy. But when it was over, they all went their separate ways. And he talks about how he went down the street, downtown Chicago, and saw this bar, okay, it's on the near north side, and he saw a line out there. He said it wasn't anything but Hebrew Israelites, so-called blacks out there. It wasn't a Caucasian among them. Then he went a little further away, went to another, a bar. He went inside, all Caucasians, wasn't a Hebrew Israelite, so-called black in among them. Okay? Now when you read chapter 2, Daniel, verse 43, and it says, "And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay." All right? They could be out there hugging, but when it was over, they all went their separate ways. They don't cleave to one another. Okay? Just like they come back into their own communities in Chicago. And Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in the world. Simple as that. Martin Luther King said that back in the 60s. He came here, he thought it was rough down there in the South with segregation. When he came up here in Chicago, he like, man, I've never seen anything like this. Ever. All right? Now that's that prophecy fulfilled. For all you out there that talk about that book's a fairy tale, all right? These are prophecies we just read off to you that are fulfilled, substantiated to this day. Okay? Should be very plain. Like it says in the book of Jeremiah, okay? At the end of the 23rd chapter, at the end of the 30th chapter, Yah says, in the latter days, you shall consider it perfectly. And we in the latter days. See, now we can look back in retrospect and see all of these prophecies come to pass. Okay? So, again, here we are in the daughter of Babylon, United States of America, and it's not going to get any better. It cannot be healed. And that's why it says in Jeremiah chapter 50, it says in verse, again in verse 39 and 40, "There shall no man abide there forever. It shall be destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah." You starting to see people who in the public eye leave here. Okay? Like Nicolas Cage. He's gone. He got maybe a condo here because he still, you know, does business over here, make a movie every now and then. But he's moved, all right, to England. Got him a castle over there. Madonna. All right, y'all all know about the Material Girl. She don't really live here. She got a place in New York, you know what I mean, because she got big money. But she lives over in England. You follow me? Gwyneth Paltrow, all right, her and her husband. They left here. They been gone. They live over outside of France. Okay, Sean Connery. See, these people in the public eye, you can see that they've left, but it's other people, little people, like you and me. They've gone. Okay, people call here Y'all Righteousness. You got brothers in Georgia down there, right outside Atlanta in Decatur. They told me they got land in Tanzania. They're leaving. All right, you got another brother, a Haitian Hebrew Israelite brother that calls Y'all Righteousness. You understand, from Texas. He told me they've acquired land in Ghana. They're leaving. Okay, and they asked us and said, when you gonna leave, brother? You know, are you leaving? I said, we can't leave until what it says in Isaiah chapter 60 comes to pass. Okay, on the very first show we did, that one in August 2006, I stated it then, I'm gonna state it again. And this is for you, and this is for the elite of the earth. All right, because Esau has acknowledged Yah righteousness, but he hasn't submitted to it, and he's going to. That's chapter 27, Isaiah, verse 5. He's going to make peace with Yah, our righteousness, the king. Okay, and they're going to make peace with his arm, his representative, Yah, our righteousness. This is going to happen. And these monarchies, as it says in chapter 60, are going to come. The Gentiles are going to come to Yah's light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. They're going to come. All right? Because like it says in Micah chapter 7, starting at verse 15, it's going to be like according to the coming out of Egypt. And if you all know that story, we talked about it once before. All right? Yah sent Moses and Aaron to tell the people and to tell Amenophis II, the Pharaoh of the Exodus, what was going to happen. He has to tell the people what's going to happen before it happens. Other than that, they give their idol the credit for it. And this is from Yah of hosts, the king. He's destroying this country. It's irreversible. It's nothing can save it. That's why they put Barack Obama there. They're going to do a lot of dark, egregious things on his watch. All you people that's in the euphoria now, in about another year and a half, 2 years, you're going to be out of that euphoria. Okay? You're going to be brought into realism. And you mark it. This economy is going to collapse on his watch. They're going to bring in that Amero. The whole standard of living here is going to collapse. America as you knew it is no more and never will be again. That's why they dumping all of these worthless dollars back here in America that they've acquired in China, that they've gotten in these other countries, Japan. They dumping them back over here. And I might be wrong about this, but doesn't it say something about it in the Constitution that you can't own property here, assets, unless you are a citizen? I think it says that somewhere. I'm not an authority on the Constitution, but I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere. So how are they acquiring all this property in other nations, dumping these dead dollars back, because they don't want to be stuck with these worthless dollars. The only way they can spend them is back here in America. America's the only way you got to take them here in America. Okay? So that's what they're doing. It's all smoke and mirrors. So you better wake up. This thing, what they're putting to you is a lie. It's a deception. Okay? Because they know that the people lack knowledge. They lack knowledge, and people are destroyed as we're witnessing for a lack of knowledge. Okay? They know the people, when you lack knowledge, you are emotional. You're into that love and hate. Okay? You're not into understanding. And that's what you're going to have to get in if you're going to survive this, because the people of the earth, including these monarchies, and including the Illuminati, are going to have to come to Yah, because you just, like I said, like according to the coming out of Egypt, what did he do to the Egyptians? What did he do to Amenophis II, the Pharaoh, the son of Tutmos III? What did he do to him? He dropped drama on them. Go back there in Exodus and read about it. And that's what he's doing, and that's what he's going to do to these monarchies to make them submit to his will.